We're going camping. We're going camping. We got the grill nice and hot. We got margaritas on the rocks. We're going camping. Hello fellow RVers, this is Gary once again with Rough Road RV Life. We like looking at freedom. Sharon's behind the camera. We got the pups are in there. So where's freedom brought us? Well, we're still in Arizona, but we are at a place called Kaibab Camper Village. Because they use the R and the V from camper and village. They call it Camper RV Village or Camper Village. Anyway, a little confusing, but that's what it's called.
Is it Kaibab or Kaibab?
I'll let you guys pronounce it. K-A-I-B-A-B.
Yeah, we looked it up.
Kaibab. I don't know. It's one of the bad bobs. We're going to stay here for like 7 days because we want to go to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon, and we also want to go to Lee's Ferry. That's like 3 road trips, and it's a full-service park. It's the closest full-service park, so that's why we're here. So we'll let you see what this campground is all about.
And the first thing I want to point out is, if you've been in Arizona for any length of time, you will appreciate trees. Our tour starts right here at Site 29. It is a pull-through site, plenty of space as you can see. 50 amp electric and water and sewer. So you are assigned a site. You pick your site type, like back in or pull through or tent.
I'll make one comment here. As you can see, there's one post. So there's a 50 amp and a 30 amp. So if you have 250 amps, one person's got to use a dog bone for 30.
Yes.
There's just 150 and 130.
But this is a site. We had some neighbors here, but apparently it was this 29. It's not 93. These are old numbers. There's numbers on the other side. This is the best site for satellite. So they were willing to put up with the 30 amp for that.
Right.
So we'll try to get these numbers to you, but they're very helpful and they will find a spot for you. So there's a chipmunk right there on that rock. Cool, he took off.
That's 29 and 30 right where we were at just
Okay,
then.
so we were 30. Here's 32 and 31. And the back end sites are 33 and 34. Originally, I had chosen a back end site because I think that's all that was available at the time. But they were nice, and they gave me a call and said, you would be much more comfortable in a pull-through site. And so we changed it. And I was very appreciative of that because we are. Now, seeing how slopey some of these are, there's very few that I think would really truly accommodate us. Friendly folk, little camp store right there, and that's where you pull in to register. And hummingbirds everywhere.
And they take you to the site and make sure you get back in right.
Yes, very helpful. And then there's some more of the pull-through sites. Seating areas everywhere. It's very nice. So that's just a little overview. Under the Ponderosa pines, there's 3 gates to this place, so you can go out and walk your dogs. The back end sites are along the perimeter, so you can see them over there. There's some empty ones right here coming up back right up to that railing. It's so pretty. And tent sites go on down around, and that's also where the shower and the laundry is. And there we are. There's more back end sites right there. There is, now if you go through that gate, it's 1 mile to Jacob Lake Inn. It's a Jacob Lake Inn trail. And there they have a little restaurant and the best cookies ever and milkshakes that are pretty darn tasty.
And the visitor center.
And visitor center, yes. But they won't give you anything for the Grand Canyon. You can look at it, but you have to wait till you get there. 45 minutes away to get any information. So here are more back end sites and maybe more suitable for tents, but they're primitive. And if you're wondering what the bathrooms look like, They're right there.
And the showers are way down here.
Porta potties. Yeah. Dump station. Right there. They haul their water in from Fredonia. There's campsite number 8. So just a sample. All the campsites are basically like this, tucked up in the trees. You can go. Site 10.
It doesn't.
Anyway, these are 10 sites. And straight ahead is the laundromat and the showers. This is coming around, but right here on the right, this was a really cool site. There was a lot of tenors up there, and they have like their own little hill. Trash cans everywhere. And then we're coming back around to the campground. There's another look at that common area. There's horseshoes over there. And then straight ahead are all the back ends. And that brings us right back around to the exit. Or the entrance, however you want to look at it, whichever way you're going, right?
Half a mile of dirt road.
To Highway 67.
Yep.
If you go to the right, you go to the Grand Canyon. If you go to the left, you can join 89A and head on to, well, first you come to Jacobs Lake. There's a look back at the campground. And then you can head on to Lee's Ferry if you want to go check that out. Miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of forest roads around here.
I think you can ATV on them.
Yes.
Or whichever
Or
3 letters you
OH.
choose.
Yeah, OHV.
Yeah.
We're not even sure. But if you have an off-road vehicle, or if you have a mountain bike or e-bike, these are great roads to toot around on in these beautiful forests.
So that was our little tour of Kaibab. We looked it up on Google, and it's B-A-B is supposed to be pronounced B-A-U-B. Right? Bub. Kaibab.
B-U-H-B.
B-U-H-B. Bub. Bub.
K-A-I-B-A-B.
That's it.
Somebody,
and it's in the K-A...
Hey, in the comments, tell us how to pronounce that.
And I guess it's in the K-A-I-B-A-B forest. It's close to here. Anyway, this park, we had the 50 amp service on our side, and we have the sewer, and we have the water. They actually fill the water here daily. They have to truck their water in from Fredonia.
Yeah, there's no water here.
Yeah. So, and they have the tent sites around, horseshoes. And that's about it as far as playthings to do here.
Well, there's miles and miles and miles of forest roads.
Now, if you want to walk, it's fine, but my wife today went out on a mountain bike excursion on the loose gravel roads, and it wasn't all as much fun as she thought it was going to be.
Well, it's worth it. You just have to be careful. My goal every day is to not fall, and gravel is very slidey. So just be forewarned if you head on out on these forest roads. Now, some of them are dirt packed with the grass. They're like country lanes, and they're beautiful. And I did ride some of them.
Now, this is a half-mile gravel road once you turn off the hard road to get here, and then right up the road from that is the Jacobs Lake area, where they have the visitor center, and they have a gift shop, a little restaurant in there, ice cream shop, and a cookie shop that someone has become addicted to lemon zucchini cookies.
All right, that started in Bluff, Utah.
I've made 2 trips there since we've been here to buy more cookies.
They're at the, what was it, the fort, the Bluff Fort. They had lemon zucchini cookies. OMG. If you've never had them, you've got to try them. And so this place is the second place I've ever even heard of that has lemon zucchini cookies.
Now, they have other flavor cookies. They got oatmeal raisin chocolate chip. They got a wraparound counter full of cookies. But lemon zucchini is her bane. And out in front, they also have like a trailer cook thing that they serve fried bread in it. You can get different varieties of fried bread.
You could get a Navajo taco.
Or cinnamon powder on it, or just plain. So
Yeah.
that's something else you can get while you're here that's almost within walking distance if you choose to do that. So, and they also have gasoline there too. They have the Chevron gas
There's
station.
a lodge there with cabins and all kinds of different lodging options.
Right. So that's just right up the street here. And outside of that, that's
Well,
about, go ahead.
Well, I want to mention, this is in Jacob Lake. That's the name of the town. But don't bring your kayak and your swimming trunks and
Or
whatnot.
your fishing poles.
Or your fishing poles, because Jacob Lake is more like a sinkhole, and there's very little water in it. It's not really a lake at all, and it's inaccessible.
Yeah, it's on private property, and it's like sort of like a big mud puddle.
Yeah, but
So.
as much as lakes are around here,
Right.
they're sinkhole lakes, and I'm sure they fill up at certain times of the year, but right now, not so much.
So that's it for as far as the park goes. I mean, it's full of shady Ponderosa pines.
And there's aspens over here. We have
It's
an
really
aspen
nice.
on our site.
And since we're up so high, our nights have been like 59 to 61,
Just beautiful.
and our days have been like in the 80s, 81, 82, something like that. And it's nice breeze. So it's been very, very
Long sleeves.
nice here, because once you go down, the temperatures go up. And the reason we picked this is because it is the closest full-service park to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. There are other parks on the way there. 25 miles, there's another park that I can't recall the name of it off the top of my head. And then in the park itself, there's the Cottonwood Campground. But both of those, you've got to bring your own water, and there's no electric.
Yeah, they're primitive, but they're close. They're right there. I mean,
What's the name of that park? So if you want to
Coffee
stay
shop.
here to go to the North Rim, I can tell you from the campground to the lodge in the North Rim, that's even past the toll booth. It's $35 to get into the park unless you got a pass.
For 7 days.
For 7 days, it's 45 miles. So that's how far it is from here to there.
But it's 45 scenic miles.
Very scenic, and there's a road that's not traffic.
It's
Not a lot of traffic on it. You get 55 or 60 and you can just go. And you might see bison on the way, and you never know what you'll see. But it's a nice, straight, nice road.
Yeah.
And
not
you'll
hard.
also pass a couple little stores and gas stations along the way to get to the North Rim.
Up by when you're almost there.
Right. Now, since I'm at the North Rim, through this monologue, the North Rim is nice. If you go to the North Rim, there's a picnic area. And then once you get to the North Rim, you can walk out on a walkway out to what they call the Bright Angel Overlook, which is very nice. It's downhill, but it's not far.
It's not bad.
No, and then they also, at the lodge part, they have a couple of other places that you can walk out on. And the view is really nice. It's very, very scenic.
Colorful here.
Colorful.
It's colorful.
And they also have a restaurant in there that you can get food. And they also have a deli that you can buy food at. And of course, they have a gift shop. And they also have the thing that you can fill your water jugs out of the spring water that's piped up.
From the canyon.
From the
From
canyon.
Roaring Springs.
Right.
And it tastes very good.
Now, that area is fairly crowded, just to let you know, but it's not
South
not
Rim.
overbearingly crowded like the South Rim, but
It's not South Rim.
it is crowded. There's people that go there because there's people in the lodge, and the lodge is huge. Cabins all over the place.
Yeah.
So, and also the campground is there also.
Yeah.
So that's the basic of the North Rim. It's completely different view than you're going to see at the South Rim. I can tell you that right now, but it's just as aesthetically pleasing to look at that. I think it's maybe even more picturesque.
And you don't have to fight so much not fight, that's not a good word, but the overlooks are not
Crowded.
packed. They're
Yes.
not packed.
Now, before you get to the lodge, 3 miles before you get to the lodge, which is past the ranger station where you pay, there's another road that goes out to what's called the Cape Royale and the Point Imperial. And that is about I think it's 23 miles to go from the turnout all the way to Cape Royale. And on the way, you're going to go past the wide that takes you to Point Imperial, and that's only a little 3-mile side trip to go to that.
But worth it.
But worth it.
Yeah.
Now on the way, I feel like I'm dominating this whole
No,
wrap
you're
up.
go.
But on the way to Cape Royal, they do have some hiking trails. They have several overlooks. They have the Vista Encanta. They have the Roosevelt Point, which Teddy Roosevelt. That's why it's there. They have the Walhalla Overlook.
Oh, and at the Walhalla Overlook area, you can see the ruins from
a pueblo that used to be there.
An ancient Puebloni, and it talked about how they were down. They did live down by the river.
Very, very short walk to get to that pueblo.
Yeah.
It's just across the street from the Walhalla Overlook. And then you go down to Angel's Window, which is amazing. It's a big, I guess, rectangular or circular.
It's a window.
Yeah, cut into the granite rocks. It's when you look through it, you see the Colorado River over there. And we're not talking about a little thing. We're talking about a big cutout.
Right, you can walk out over the top of it and overlook, but it's pretty big, and it frames the Colorado River beautifully.
And then you'll come to the end, which is Cape Royale. And then that's a paved walkway that you can go out there, and that also takes you to what they call the Angel's Window Overlook, which is actually you're standing on top of the Angel's Window. And then the other ways to Cape Royale, and the views, the vistas there are amazing.
Beautiful.
I think if I had to go to either the Bright Angel Point at the rim or go to Cape Royale, I would go to Cape Royale and do that.
You only had one day.
Yeah.
You could go do the drive. It's 45 minutes one way, give or take, and back, and then 20 minutes they say to go to Point Imperial, and then 20 minutes back. But it didn't take us that long.
No.
And we stopped and poked around, and you could still go to the lodge and have lunch if you only had a day.
Yeah, because
and you might have time to walk out to Bright Angel Point.
Right.
But that drive was much more enjoyable than
because
going to the visitor center. There's more to see.
The brush and all that comes right up to the side of the road, and you're like driving down through a corridor, and you're only doing 35 miles an hour. That's why it takes so long to get there.
It's windy.
And it winds around. It's really nice, and the pull-offs are nice, and it was very, very scenic views from that drive going out there.
Yes.
Okay, now that are we done with the Grand Canyon for the now?
Grand Canyon is the reason why we came here, so we wanted to share that. And we'll talk more about, well, I guess we kind of shared everything about it right here. Right?
Yeah, and then, of course, we're going to do a video on it. But and another side trip that we did, which also takes an hour to get to, was Lee's Ferry. And there used to be a ferry there, and the Colorado River that runs there is nothing like the Colorado River that runs through the Grand Canyon. There's boats actually in it with motors. Outboard motors going up and down that river. And then, of course, up a little ways, it turns into rapids. But then they have a really nice beach area. I'm talking a sandy beach, not a rocky beach, like you're at a beach at a...
Yep, people swimming.
People swimming out there. It's calm water. It's not rapids.
You have to enter the Grand Canyon National Park to get to the river.
Yes.
It's like the sign is here and the water's...
Right there.
Just a few yards away.
But they got giant boat ramps there. They got several, and they also got another area that you can go down and look at historic buildings and machinery that used to be there when the ferry was actually taking people back and forth across the river.
Right, the place where the original ferryman lived. It's just a lot of history there.
And there's also a campground there, but once again, it's primitive and it's a smaller campground. It's not very big, and it's no reservations. It's first come, first serve. So you have to roll the dice for that one. But that's where they also put in for the tour services. If you want to do a what's it, a 14-day or
I don't know,
250 mile float trip. It's overnights.
Yeah, if you want to raft the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon, they're putting these giant boats with so much stuff in them. And
you park in the 14-day parking, so I'm considering it's not taking 2 days to do it if you're parking over there in the 14-day parking lot. But that's another thing that you could also do if you wanted to experience that long rafting trip down that river.
That'd be cool.
So now it was 100 It was between 98 and 104 degrees there. It was warm. We went from 80 to 104
Yeah.
because we dropped 5,000 feet in elevation. 4,000. We went
dropped
from
a
almost
lot. I don't
9,000 to
know.
4,000 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's where you're dropping
We
in elevation.
went down the whole way, and then on the way back up was all the way back up.
So that's Lee's Ferry. So if you're interested in that, interested in doing things in the area, you got the North Rim, and you got, if you can go to Lee's Ferry too, if you want to do a couple of day trips. That's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's about all that we're gonna cover. We're gonna do a little video on that too, so you can actually see it.
Right. And there's trails around here, getting back to here.
Mm-hmm.
And did we mention there was a primitive campground up the way?
Go ahead.
Did we? Anyway, there is a Jacobs Lake campground,
Mm-hmm.
and it's primitive. So it's right kind of across from the inn and everything.
Yeah. Now across the street here, there's a place that says they do mule rides, but we never saw it open.
Yeah. And they do
don't
mule
know.
rides into the North Rim as well.
Yeah, if you want to ride on a mule, it's bigger than a donkey.
I considered it, but not down in the rim because I saw that happening on the South Rim, and that was pretty scary.
I think it's a 220-pound weight limit.
The mules were cute. I did take a picture of them because they were just all saddled up and waiting. So cute.
All right, so I think we need to wrap this up now. We're on 15 minutes and so of this wrap up. So not to me, but the editor over here, she'll make it work. So anyway, this is Gary and Sharon and Rough Road RV Life. Click like and subscribe because our purpose is doing these videos to let you see what campgrounds are like.
What they look like,
What they look
and
like
what
on
there
our
is to do
journey.
in the area.
Yeah, and where we've been and where we're going and all that good stuff. That's kind of why we do it. We enjoy doing it. So
Right.
hope to see you on the road sometime. Safe travels. Take care. Hello, fellow.
Let me check your nose. Okay.
All right. Okay, people. She just did a nose check and I'm good. I'm booger free. Anyway,
Start over.
hello, fellow RVers. This is Gary, booger free from.
Try again. Go. You say it because you say it correctly. Kaibab. 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 Kaibab.
Kaibab.
Kaibab.
Kaibab. K-A-I-B-A-B. Kaibab. That's how I say it.
K-A-B. K-A-I. Kaibab. Yeah, that's it.
K-A-I.
Kaibab National Forest.
Yes. We left Kebab. Now we're
No,
at Kaibab.
that was Kanab.
Kanab. We left Kanab and now we're at Kebab. Now
You might be wondering why we're confused.
Kaibab. We were at K-A-B-A-B and now we're at K-A-I.
No, K-A-N-A-B.
K-A-N-A-B, yeah.
And now we're at
We're at a lot of knobs.
Kaibab.
This is the knob area of Arizona.
Good times.